I Now Look for the Green Light by Joseph M. Cotter. From the time I was a small boy, throughout the early stages of young manhood, and during my adult life, I was a professional worrier. My worries were many and varied. Some were real, most of them were imaginary. Upon rare occasions, I would find myself without anything to worry about. Then I would worry for fear I might be overlooking something. Then, 2 years ago, I started out on a new way of living. This required making a self-analysis of my faults and a very few virtues, a searching and fearless moral inventory of myself. This brought out clearly what was causing all this worry. The fact was that I could not live for today alone. I was fretful of yesterday's mistakes and fearful of the future. I was told over and over that today was the tomorrow I had worried about yesterday, but it wouldn't work for me. I was advised to live on a 24-hour program. I was told that today was the only day over which I had any control, and that I should make the most of my opportunities each day. I was told that if I did that, I would be so busy I would have no time to worry about any other day, past or future. Now, that advice was logical, but somehow I found it hard to put these darned ideas to work for me. Then, like a shot out of the dark, I found the answer. And where do you suppose I found it? On a Northwestern Railroad platform at 7 p.m., May 31st, 1945. It was an important hour for me. That's why I remember it so clearly. We were taking some friends to the train. They were leaving on the City of Los Angeles, a streamliner, to return from a vacation. The war still on, crowds were heavy that year. Instead of boarding the train with my wife, I wandered down the tracks toward the front of the train. I stood looking at the big shiny engine for a minute. Presently I looked down the track and saw a huge semaphore. An amber light was showing. Immediately this light turned to a bright green. At that moment the engineer started clanging a bell. I heard the familiar "all aboard," and in a matter of seconds that huge streamliner began to move out of the station on its 2,300-mile trip. My mind started spinning. Something was trying to make sense to me. I was experiencing a miracle. Suddenly it dawned on me. That engineer had given me the answer I had been seeking. He was starting out on that long journey with only one green light to go by. If I'd been in his place, I would want to see all the green lights for the entire journey. Impossible, of course, yet that was exactly what I was trying to do with my life, sitting in the station, going no place, because I was trying too hard to see what was ahead for me. My thoughts kept coming. That engineer didn't worry about trouble that he might encounter miles ahead. There probably would be some delays, some slowdowns, but wasn't that why they had signal systems? Amber lights, reduce speed and take it easy. Red lights, real danger up ahead, stop. Now, that was what made train travel safe, a good signal system. I asked myself, why didn't I have a good signal system for my life? My answer was I did have one. God had given it to me. He controls it, so it has to be foolproof. I started looking for a green light. Now, where could I find it? Well, if God created the green lights, why not ask Him? I did just that. And now, by praying each morning, I get my green light for that day. I also occasionally get amber lights that slow me down. Sometimes I get red lights that stop me before I crack up. No more worrying for me since that day 2 years ago when I made this discovery. During those 2 years, over 700 green lights have shone for me, and the trip through life is so much easier without the worry of what color the next light will be. No matter what color it may be, I will know what to do.